Hello, gorgeous. You're listening to the Girlfriend's Guide to Starting Over. On this podcast, we talk about everything from dating and relationships to personal development. We also speak very candidly about the F word, and by that, I mean failure. So grab a pen, tag a friend, and let's talk about it. All of it. Undergoing, overcoming, and simply trying to make it through. Hello, gorgeous. You're listening to the Girlfriend's Guide to Starting Over podcast, and I'm your host, Kayla. If you are just listening for the first time, hello, and welcome to my platform. I am so excited that you have found me. And as always, if you are a returning listener, hey, sis, welcome back. So in today's episode, I want to dive into how I spent my July and how being willing to get uncomfortable really transformed my life. If you're following me on social, then you know that I participated in a challenge this month with my coach, Chrissy Connor. Shout out to Chrissy. And in this challenge, she gave the participants each day one tool to implement in our businesses, and then a series of 5 challenges that varied in discomfort to do each day of the month. And then in addition to those things, we also had to set a personal challenge, something that we wanted just to accomplish for ourselves. When I say they varied in discomfort, I'm talking about everything from taking a 2-minute freezing cold shower to getting on camera and talking about a time that you had failed. And so every single day, I was every single day I was challenged to get uncomfortable. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, Kayla, you tell us all the time there's no growth in your comfort zone. That should have been easy for you. And yes, I do say that all the time, and I stand by that. And yes, I've gotten uncomfortable numerous times in my life before, but never ever had I challenged myself to be uncomfortable consistently every single day for 31 days. Like, this was a no days off, and I chose that. Chrissy definitely built in rest days. You are not required to do anything, but you guys know me. If I'm up to something, I am 10 toes down, right? So I challenged myself. I pushed myself every single day. And when I tell you the transformation that I've seen in myself, in my confidence, in the way that I show up on socials, in the way that I interact with my clients, it is mind-blowing. Because so many times when we're on a healing journey or a health journey or a fitness journey or some sort of emotional journey, we get to a place where it's not that we are perfect, but we're like, I'm good. And sometimes we lose sight of the fact that there's always an opportunity for growth or improvement. And so doing these activities every single day highlighted areas where I wasn't necessarily not showing up, but I could show up bolder. And it also gave me an opportunity to see what's possible if I don't delay, if I simply act, if I move, take action. And so really quickly, I want to roll through 3 things, my 3 biggest takeaways from her challenge. But first things first, let's talk about my personal challenge that I set for myself. So initially, I set the challenge that I would go live 5 times a week for 5 consecutive weeks. So 25 lives in 5 weeks. Okay, no big deal. This was a big deal to me, though, because typically I'm live once or twice a week. That's it. Nothing else to say. You got it. And so saying that I was going to be live 5 times a week seemed like a lot. And I was like, Chrissy, what if I run out of things to say? What if nobody is watching? What if people unfollow? Like, all of the what ifs. And she's like, what if they don't? You're not going to run out of things to say. If you do, repeat yourself. Like, she had answers for everything, which it should be expected of my coach, right? And so I'm like, okay, I commit. Out the gate, guys, I did 9 lives in the first week. And so I'm sitting down because I'm a coach myself and I'm reassessing. I'm like, okay, kid, you played small. Let's bump it up. Let's do 7 lives. 7 lives for 5 weeks, 35 lives. Okay, I can handle it. Guys, as of Friday the 28th, I had done 50 lives in the month of July. 50. And that doesn't count the ones that I did over the weekend. And it doesn't count any that I do today, right? So Not only did I double my initial goal, I knocked it out of the park. And it's simply because I stopped being so caught up on what if people don't like this? What if that? What if this? What I realized is that I was striving for perfection and my audience was simply wanting me to be real. And that is the trouble with so many things. We are striving for perfection when those around us are just hungry for authenticity. They just want us to be real. And so I challenge you, where in your life have you been striving for perfection and people are just wanting you to show up as you? I want you to consider that as we go into the week, okay? Consider that as we go into the week. The three things that I learned from this challenge, the biggest takeaways were: one, every single day, we need to commit time to working toward our dream, our business, our goal, whatever it is, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Do not put your head on that pillow until you have made some progress or made some little chip in that block of your dreams. Your dreams are not going to wait for you. You have to work for them, okay? Number two was to take calculated risk to advance yourself forward. Getting on camera and talking about a time that I failed, you would think that that would seem like a really easy task for me. But when I'm talking about those things to you, something has me fired up and I'm really motivated. This required me to dive deep, to think of things I hadn't shared, or to think of points to drive home that I wish that I had said sooner, right? And number three is you are far more capable of accomplishing challenging tasks and goals than you give yourself credit for. When I started this challenge, I never in the world would have believed that I could have gone live 50 plus times in the month of July and never had run out of things to say or never felt like people were tired or bored of me. I never would have imagined that I would be sending multiple emails to my list and nobody unsubscribed. Nobody was upset because I was giving value. And I truly believe that what's from the heart reaches the heart, right? And so if I leave nothing else, again, I say, I want you to know that you are capable of amazing things. Absolutely amazing things. And so I hope that this inspires you to get uncomfortable. It inspires you to grow. I personally am committing the month of August to continuing doing at least daily something that makes me uncomfortable, something that drives me forward, something that will continue to build the momentum in my business, in my podcast, in my life, and within my relationships. And I'm excited to see what you choose to do. Let me know how you're going to get uncomfortable. Stay tuned for updates because you know your girl is definitely going to give them. Have an excellent day on purpose, sis. We'll talk in the next one. Well, gorgeous girl, that's a wrap for this episode. I hope you found value, insight, or strength. I hope something was said that gave you the courage to push on a little while longer toward the life of your dreams. If you felt motivated during this segment, screenshot this and throw it in your stories and tag me on social. That way we can keep the message going. Have an excellent day on purpose, and we, girl, will talk in